mentioned that this is the 6th fight that HBO has done with Sergio Martinez. What's the most appealing thing about Sergio Martinez as a in-house fighter?
Well, first of all, I mean, we like to be involved with the best fighters in the sport, and Sergio, as I said, is on any objective list is one of the top 3 pound-for-pound fighters in the sport. So that's a given. We're going to want to be in business with that guy. But also, you know, he's an exciting fighter. Somehow he provides drama, whether it's the spectacular win over Williams, the knockdown drag-out he had with Williams in the first fight, even the Sergio Zindrazik fight was an exciting fight, exciting knockout for him. So he makes for good television. So with all that in mind, he embodies the types of things that we want at HBO, which are the best fighters in the world fighting, and also exciting television fighters.
What challenges come along with televising a fight between a known entity like Sergio Martinez and an unknown in America, Darren Barker?
Well, that's actually a good question. Part of our job, and part of the job of the promoter, is to educate the public about the attributes of Darren Barker. He is a quality amateur. He was a quality amateur. He has a solid professional background. He certainly has not been in with this type of competition that Sergio's been in with. But part of it is to let people know who this guy is, what his backstory is, and what type of skills he brings to the ring. Now, whether or not that's going to be enough to deal with the best middleweight in the world, you know, we'll find that out on October 1st. But that's our job.
I've never been a programming executive at HBO or any other television network, but tell me some of the risks that when they bring this fight to you. And of course, you have Sergio Martinez, who you can vouch for. A lot of people don't know enough about Darren Barker to know whether, first off, they get interested in the fight, or if the fight would even be exciting or interesting when it's on.
Yeah, that's a fair point, and certainly, like I said, our job and the job of Lou and Samson are to educate the viewer, let them know, educate the fans, let them know who this guy is. Eddie Hearn will also play a part in that as well. But there are no guarantees when you walk into the ring that night. I remember before the Sergio Zindrazik fight, so many people said, "Oh, terrible fight for Sergio. It's difficult. It's going to be boring. The other guy's going to run from him. It's going to be jab, jab, jab." It was anything but. It was an exciting fight. So no one really knows what's going to happen in the ring that night. What I can look at is I can look at the fact that Darren has a come-forward style. Whether he'll use it on October 1st, we'll find out. But he does have a comeback style in his prior fights, and he fights to his history and he fights to his background. It should be an entertaining fight.
Staying on the subject of Sergio Martinez, I think the fight that most people want to see at middleweight right now would be Sergio Martinez versus Chavez Jr. Would you agree with that?
I actually think there are other fights that people would want to see. Certainly, if a guy like Miguel Cotto decided to move up to middleweight, that would certainly be a special fight. There are welterweights who might want the challenge of going up and seeking a middleweight belt. Floyd Mayweather, or I don't know if Pacquiao would, because he's a little smaller than those guys. But there are guys who might move up to want to challenge for what, in effect, is one of the most recognized belts in sport. I mean, after the heavyweight champion, one of the most glamorous belts to have is being the middleweight champion. So I could see guys wanting to take a crack at that. That being said, Chavez Jr. is, I think he's still developing as a fighter. So I'm not sure that his people would want to put him in with Sergio yet. There's a long way between Sergio and the type of fights he's been fighting, and I think what their plan is to get him there eventually, but I don't think we're going to see that in 2011.